What the hell is this? An EA published game made by Atari, licensed by Sega. That's like the universe collapsing on itself kind of stuff. Could you imagine that at the peak of the 80s? I mean, maybe EA wouldn't have been involved, but that's not the point. The point is, that is a wild combination of names to see on a title screen. It doesn't say it here, but we've also got Marky Mark Cerny, he of Kid Chameleon fame, behind the original arcade game. But don't expect as much radness as that game brought to the table. I don't think that there is any radness in this game at all, if I'm honest. Defo nothing gnarly or tubular. Well, maybe tubular, but that's already describing the looks of some of the bad guys, who are literal tubes. Point is, you're a big marble going down these levels, which are all made up of ramps and hills and stuff, trying to get to the goal space as quickly as possible, ideally without running out of time. You can fall down or get hit by one of the aforementioned baddies, but all that happens there is that you lose time, which you don't want to do, obviously. Despite his previous stance to some previous Mega Drive arcade conversions, Jazz actually likes this one. He gives it 88% overall, saying it's a perfect arcade conversion that is in a class of its own on the Mega Drive, which is spelt as one word again, but we'll ignore that and we'll move on. The elephant, or rather giant marble in the room, is the control system. The original arcade cap had itself a big old trackball jammed right into it, like right into it. That is something the Mega Drive doesn't have, and let's be clear, while Sega loved themselves an ill-conceived peripheral, even they shied away from putting out the trackball controller for just one game. And since this is pre-analog sticks, we have to deal with D-pads and buttons. Jazz's review doesn't really mention it, other than in the playability summary, which gets 92%, saying, once you've got used to the controls, brackets which does take long, close brackets, Marble Madness is extremely playable and very addictive. Now, the obvious way to go here is that it's a big lie and the game actually controls like a brick superglued to the floor. But it doesn't, it's actually pretty good. What you lose in that fine analog control with the trackball, you gain having fixed digital directions on the D-pad, the buttons speeding you up to give a bit more granular control over your marble. You do only get a few levels, which, isn't great, but the game plays like a racing game, in that it's more about beating your best time than it is beating the game. So whilst 88% does feel a bit high, we can agree this one shouldn't work, but it does. Chalk another winner up to that rapscallion Mark Cerny.